it's not supposed to be easy. That may have been overdoing it, but a heck of a lacrosse game.
Not our best game, but we found a way to win, and we keep preaching about good teams find ways to win, and that was an example of it tonight. I thought we were much better in the second half than the first half.
How much of that comes down to just your championship pedigree and experience, and so much of your team being here, having been here, done that before?
Well, I think it says a lot about our team and the character we have, and the experience definitely showed up in the second half. It was easy for us to. It would have been easy for us to fold up there. They were on a few goal runs multiple times in the first half. I thought they dominated most of the play. They had the ball for the majority of the time, and guys knew what it takes to do it in the second half, and they showed up, and we were very determined, and didn't give up, and we found the way to score the last 4 goals of the game.
John, it seemed like when you really needed a lift, number 92 came through as he's done before. That might have been as important a moment as it was in the game, and one of the top moments that I've ever seen him play. What gives him the ability?
I think talking about Dhane, Dhane's one of the best players because he's very determined to be the best, and regardless of what the score is, he never gives up, and he always wants that the ball when it matters most, and he showed it today why he deserves to have the ball. And I think he was an integral part of that comeback. And with Mickey as well, Mickey held us together early, and kind of Dhane took over it towards the end.
Dhane, lacrosse is very much a high offense game, but what keyed this team's defense to maintain a 1-goal lead through the bulk of the fourth quarter, most of the fourth quarter?
Yeah, you know what? They're our backbone. They have been throughout the year and playoffs. They've been the best players, and they need to be. Obviously, Matt Vince is the best goalie for a reason. He shut the door. There's a few that he probably wants back, but as an offensive group, I think we just get so much motivation because we know our defense is going to make that next stop. So we take a little bit of pressure off ourselves to get that next goal, and we know there's a great chance that our defense is going to make that stop and push the ball and move it to us. So they've been great all year, like I said, and like JT said, good teams find a way, and our defense was amazing tonight.
Ian, how'd you guys stop the pendulum? They were going up 2, you'd score, get it to 1, they'd score again. It kind of went back and forth like that for a while. How did you kind of stop that and then ultimately take over?
I think just touching on kind of what both of them said, like being in the situation before, a lot of our core guys being there, and not panicking at all, and knowing that it's a long game, and they were going on their run early on, and we were able to stop that going our run for a bit there. I think it was a 6-6 game at half, and they come out again early in the second half, and it took us a little bit to settle in, but once we figured it out, it was starting to drop for us, and ultimately we went on our run at the end, and that ended up being the difference.
The team extended its all-time playoff winning streak tonight. Can you draw, when things get tough, is obviously a game like that's close with a lot of tension, can you draw on that experience at such moments that this team knows how to win at this time of year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think back to, my first couple of years, the year we lost to Calgary, and even losing to Colorado, and being down in games then, and for me personally being in my first time there and having a way different mindset then than I do now, and kind of being through it. So personally speaking, like definitely that experience helps us, and luckily for us, the majority of the guys have been on the team for this run here. So could definitely draw on things that have happened in situations we've been in, and I think we just have really good composure from the back end up, Vino, Pre, Dawson, and all those guys all the way back there. Like Dhane said, we watch them sacrifice their body, and it just gives us confidence when we go out on offense.
And you broke the playoff points record. Just what does it mean to you to first break that record and then break that record in a game like this?
I don't think it matters all too much. Again, I get asked these questions so many times, and for me, I don't even think about those records. I think toward when my career is over, I might look back and be like, that's pretty cool. But right now, I'm just focused on winning championships. And again, these records are meant to be broken, but I have my teammates to support me, but also like make me a better player. Like I wouldn't be putting up assists without these guys doing the little things to get open. So like it is a team award at the end of the day. And again, awards don't. I mean, like these records don't matter to me right now. Like what matters is winning championships, and we have a great opportunity Sunday.
I'm sure it's a lot of little things that you guys have learned, but is there anything you can point to about, like, hey, maybe 4 years ago or 5 years ago, we would have handled that differently, and now you guys know how to kind of handle it and overcome it, now that you guys have gone through the experience of winning the championship games?
Yeah, I think emotions. When you're younger, you're pretty dumb and you don't really understand it, what it takes to kind of take a hit or you get frustrated pretty easy. Our coaching staff has done a great job at making adjustments on the fly, and even at halftime, I think we did a great job tonight in making adjustments. And our defense was unbelievable because they were picking up loose balls, and that was a main talking point. Obviously, when you have two great teams playing in the 1 and 2 seed, it's not the defense is unbelievable on both sides, the offense is unbelievable on both sides, and the goaltending is unbelievable. So it's going to come down to the loose balls, who can stay out of the box, who can stay disciplined, and dictating, right? So I think we as we get older, we let the game come to us a little bit more, and we don't put as much pressure on ourselves as we used to. I feel like my first few years, I put so much weight on my shoulder to win a championship, and then I was stressing myself out, and I wasn't playing my game. Now I don't get frustrated when things aren't going our way. I know it's going to come, just sticking to the game plan, and eventually a team's going to break. Like, you just have to keep kind of knocking at that door.
Okay, Ian, can you just talk about the emergence of Ian as, your leading goal scorer in the postseason, defense to transition, and now he's able to assert himself in such a different way here this year?
Yeah, I think it's funny because when I coach kids and nobody wants to do the dirty work at the end of the day. Everybody wants the ball. Everybody wants to be the goal scorer, right? And Ian's just a smart lacrosse player at the end of the day. He watched Bucky on our side and realized that he can just buzz around, do the little things, and obviously you have Josh Byrne on that left side that draws so much attention. Ian's smart enough to either set a pick for him or just get out of his way, and eventually they're going to slide to him and he's going to be wide open. He's been shooting the ball at a high level, and I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that he was able to play both ways. So it's no surprise to me, and I think he's going to continue to do that because he's a smart lacrosse player.
Ian, Saskatchewan pulls the goalie with about a minute left. What is the strategy for your team to buckle down on defense besides scoring to the empty net? What's the strategy?
Yeah, I mean, we call a timeout there and try to draw something up to, get the ball deep into their end and try and run out of shot clock. I mean, I think we learned from watching their game last week. Messenger made an incredible play to help them and force them into overtime. So, they're super athletic, and we know that they're going to press the ball, and their coach has a history of throwing different wrenches into their rides in those situations that you don't see often, pulling their goalie kind of thing. So credit to JT knowing that something like that might happen, and just again drawing back on just being composed, and Vino made a great pass to me coming off the bench. I knew if I was getting in the middle that there was probably guys sliding to me, and I just wanted to get as far away from our end as possible, get down towards their end. Credit to their D guys. They made a good play to knock me down and get the ball with a lot more time on the clock than I would have liked. But, obviously it worked out for us.
Two questions, guys. John, fourth quarter, game settled in almost conservative, one shot at a time at a fairly slow pace. Were you good with that, or would you prefer to see a little more aggression?
Well, it's an easier answer now. I was definitely content with that, because we won the game, right? But I think it went scoreless until the empty net goal. So I was a bit nervous because they hadn't scored in a while. But like the boys said here, the defense played phenomenal, and Matt was there when they did get an opportunity in the fourth quarter. I think we did a good job offensively as well. That I don't think the guys get enough credit is not giving up any transition opportunities, which once again they didn't get any not goals, but not even opportunities in transition.
Coach, just one question here. What was discussed after the first quarter, just more of the defense, because I know they had a lot of chances being able to go backdoor on you guys a couple times. What did you guys discuss to try and make those adjustments that carried over into the rest of the game, especially the fourth quarter, where you guys are just able to really press out and not really give up many open looks to Saskatchewan?
I thought it was like a shooting gallery in the first half for them. They had a lot of step-down opportunities, and we got to give credit to Anthony Cosmo, and Steve Dietrich, our defensive coaches, for making adjustments at halftime, and it definitely paid dividend. They didn't have as many glorious opportunities as they had in the first half.
One last question, guys.
Dane, you've been in this situation before, but potential title clinching game on Sunday. how different are these games compared to other playoff games and championship series games, and what's the message to the team ahead of that game?
Yeah, I think the next one's obviously the hardest. We have to make sure we show up from opening draws because they're not just going to give it to us, right? We understand that. But we're hungry. We've been in this position before. We've been on both sides of it where we've lost it, and I believe we've won it, obviously. Saskatchewan's not an easy place to kind of win. I think Bandit Land will show up and travel like they always do, and we're excited for the challenge. I mean, both teams are probably going to make adjustments. They're a young, gritty team, and they're a really, really good team. That's why they're here. But we're excited for the challenge ahead because we're just as good as them, and again, we're excited about the opportunity ahead.